Every great journey begins with a single step, but even before that step is taken, it begins with a clear picture of where you want to go. Without direction, even the strongest legs will only walk in circles. Without vision, even the hardest work can feel meaningless. Clarity is the seed of creation, the invisible force that shapes the world you will one day hold in your hands. When your vision is clear, the universe begins to align, opportunities start to appear, and your energy becomes focused like a laser on what truly matters. Think of a sculptor standing in front of a block of marble. To the untrained eye, it looks like nothing more than stone, but in the mind of the sculptor, the image of a masterpiece already exists. Every strike of the chisel is guided by that vision. Without it, the marble would remain untouched, undefined, wasted. This is the power of clarity. It transforms the unseen into the seen, the formless into the formed. When you know exactly what you want, you begin to chip away at everything that doesn't belong until only your dream remains. Most people drift through life unclear of what they truly desire. They chase opportunities not because they align with their vision, but because they appear convenient in the moment. They take jobs, form relationships, and make choices based on circumstances rather than intention. And then they wonder why they feel stuck, unsatisfied, or unfulfilled. The truth is, without clarity, life happens to you instead of through you. You become a passenger instead of the driver, reacting instead of creating. But the moment you decide to get clear on your purpose, everything changes. Your thoughts, your words, your actions, they all begin to point in one direction, and that direction creates momentum. Clarity requires honesty. It demands that you strip away the noise of the world, the opinions of others, the expectations placed on you, the doubts in your own mind, and ask yourself, what do I really want? Not what is safe, not what is easy. Not what people expect from me, but what makes my heart race, what keeps me awake at night, what feels like a calling deep within my soul. That answer may not come instantly. It may take silence, reflection, and patience. But once you find it, you will feel it in your bones. That vision becomes your compass, guiding every decision you make. When you are clear about your vision, the law of attraction begins to operate with precision. Your mind becomes a magnet that draws in experiences aligned with your desires. The conversations you have, the people you meet, the opportunities that arise, they may seem like coincidences, but in truth, they are responses to your clarity. The universe does not reward confusion. It rewards certainty, focus, and alignment. Just like a radio can only pick up one station when it is tuned to the right frequency, your life can only attract what you are tuned to. Clarity is that tuning dial. Imagine someone walking into a restaurant and saying, "Bring me food." What would they get? Anything. Maybe something delicious, maybe something terrible. But if they walk in and say, "I want a bowl of warm soup with fresh bread," the chef knows exactly what to prepare. Life works the same way. If you are vague about what you want, you will receive vague results. But when you are precise, when your request is clear, life begins to serve you exactly what you ordered. Clarity also saves you from distractions. The world is full of shiny objects, endless opportunities, and countless paths. Without clarity, you will waste time chasing things that don't matter. You will say yes to the wrong projects, spend energy on the wrong people, and invest yourself in situations that don't align with your vision. But when you are clear, you can confidently say no to what doesn't serve you and focus entirely on what does. This focus is what separates those who succeed from those who struggle. Success is not about doing everything. It is about doing the right things consistently. It is important to understand that clarity is not just about dreaming, it is about feeling. When you visualize your dream with such intensity that you can feel the joy, the pride, the peace of having it already in your life, you begin to create an emotional frequency that attracts it. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a vividly imagined reality and the physical world. So when you imagine clearly, when you see the picture in your mind as if it is already real, your subconscious begins to guide you toward it. This is why athletes visualize their victories, why performers rehearse in their minds before stepping on stage, why leaders see the future long before others do. Their clarity becomes the bridge between imagination and reality. But clarity alone is not enough. It must be sustained. It is easy to declare a vision once and then forget it when challenges arise. The key is to remind yourself every single day, write it down, speak it out loud. Visualize it before you sleep and the moment you wake up. Protect it from negativity and doubt. The clearer your vision becomes, the stronger its pull will be. Even when the path gets difficult, your clarity will keep you moving forward. Think of a lighthouse standing tall on the shore. Storms may come, waves may crash, darkness may surround, but the lighthouse continues to shine its light, guiding ships safely to shore. Your vision must be like that lighthouse, unwavering, unshaken, a constant source of direction no matter how rough the journey becomes. When you know where you are going, the storms of life may slow you down, but they will never stop you. Clarity also has the power to inspire others. When you speak with certainty about your vision, people feel it. They see the fire in your eyes, they hear the conviction in your voice, and they are drawn to it. Opportunities are not just attracted to clarity. People are too. Leaders who are clear about their purpose naturally attract followers. Innovators who are clear about their mission naturally attract investors. Dreamers who are clear about their passion naturally attract supporters. Clarity doesn't just shape your path, it shapes the energy around you. Sometimes people fear clarity because they are afraid of being wrong. They think, what if I choose the wrong dream? What if my vision changes? But clarity does not mean you are locked into one path forever. It simply means you are committed to moving forward with intention. Even if your vision evolves, even if your goals shift, the act of being clear in the present moment keeps you from wasting time and energy. It gives you direction now, while leaving space for growth later. Clarity is not about perfection. It is about alignment. One of the most powerful truths about clarity is that it multiplies energy. When you are scattered, you may give 10% of yourself to 10 different things and never see results. But when you are clear, you give 100% of yourself to one thing and watch it grow exponentially. This is why people with clarity often achieve in a few years what others struggle to achieve in a lifetime. They are not busier, they are simply more focused. Every invention, every breakthrough, every masterpiece began in the mind of someone who saw it clearly before it existed. Airplanes, light bulbs, skyscrapers, technology, all of these were once invisible, only present in the clarity of someone's vision. What separates dreamers from achievers is not the size of their vision, but the clarity with which they hold it. Those who succeed see the invisible so clearly that it eventually becomes visible. So ask yourself again, what do you want? Not what do you think you can have, not what others tell you is realistic, but what do you truly want? Because the moment you decide with absolute clarity, you activate a force greater than yourself. You set into motion a chain of events that align with your intention. The world begins to respond. The people you need appear. The doors you've been waiting for open, the opportunities you once thought impossible, begin to come your way, and it all starts with clarity. There is a simple truth that has echoed across generations. Belief without action is nothing more than a dream, and action without belief is nothing more than motion. But when belief and action come together, they create an unstoppable force that attracts success into your life. The law of attraction is often misunderstood as simply thinking positive thoughts, sitting back and waiting for miracles to appear. But the reality is much deeper. Your thoughts may create the blueprint, but your actions are what build the house. Your belief sets the direction, but your effort drives the vehicle forward. When belief and action work together, the universe begins to open its doors in ways you could never have imagined. Belief is the foundation of every great achievement. Without it, you will never even take the first step. When you believe in something so strongly, when you hold it in your mind with unwavering faith, you begin to see possibilities that others cannot see. You begin to speak differently, walk differently, make choices differently. Belief is not just a thought. It is an energy that flows into every aspect of your being. It becomes the fuel that keeps you going when everything around you tells you to stop. It gives you the courage to move forward in uncertainty, the strength to rise when you fall, and the resilience to keep trying even after failure knocks at your door. But belief on its own is not enough. You cannot sit in your room, repeat affirmations, and expect your life to change if you never take action. The law of attraction responds not just to your thoughts, but to the energy you release through action. When you move, when you try, when you push forward, you are signaling to the universe that you are ready to receive what you desire. Action transforms belief from something invisible into something tangible. It is the bridge between imagination and reality. You can spend years imagining a dream, but only through action does that dream come to life. Think of it like planting a seed. Your belief is the decision to plant the seed, the faith that it will grow into a tree. But your action is the watering, the nurturing, the care you give every day. Without belief, you would never bother to plant it. Without action, the seed would remain buried, lifeless. Only when you combine the two does life begin to emerge. And the beauty of this process is that each small action reinforces your belief, and each strengthened belief motivates you to take more action. It becomes a cycle of growth that builds momentum until the tree stands tall, bearing the fruit of your efforts. There will be moments when your belief is tested, times when nothing seems to be working, when progress feels slow, when obstacles appear at every turn. In those moments, belief becomes your anchor, but it cannot be passive. You must take action even when you don't feel like it, even when doubt creeps in. Every action, no matter how small, is a step forward. Every effort you make is a signal to the universe that you are serious about your vision. And over time, these consistent actions attract opportunities, people, and circumstances that align with your goal. It is easy to wish for success. It is easy to daydream about a better future. But wishing and daydreaming will not change your life. What changes your life is the decision to move, the choice to put one foot in front of the other, the courage to do something today that brings you closer to your vision. Belief gives you the confidence to start, and action gives you the discipline to continue. Together, they create the conditions where attraction becomes inevitable. Consider the people who have achieved extraordinary things. They did not sit back and wait for luck. They believed in themselves when no one else did, and they backed that belief with relentless action. They worked late nights, they took risks, they endured failure after failure, but they never stopped moving. Their actions told the universe, "I am ready," and the universe responded by bringing them the right opportunities at the right time. This is how attraction works. It is not magic, it is alignment. When your belief and your actions align, you draw success toward you. Belief without action creates frustration. You will believe in your dreams, but wonder why nothing changes. Action without belief creates burnout. You will work hard but never feel fulfilled because deep down you don't believe it's possible. But belief and action together create power. They create momentum, energy, and attraction that cannot be denied. The law of attraction is not about sitting still and hoping. It is about moving forward with faith, trusting that your effort will not go unnoticed. Your mind is a powerful tool, but it needs proof. When you act on your belief, you give your mind evidence that it is possible. Each small success builds confidence, and each moment of confidence strengthens your belief. Over time, you begin to live in a state where your vision feels not just possible, but inevitable. That certainty radiates outward, and people can feel it. Opportunities are drawn to it, circumstances align with it, belief attracts possibility, but action attracts results. Together, they attract success. Imagine someone who wants to climb a mountain. Belief tells them, "I can reach the top." But belief alone will not move their feet. They must take step after step, even when the path is steep, even when the air is thin, even when the climb feels endless. Each step is an act of faith, a demonstration that they are serious about their goal. Eventually, their persistence brings them to the summit, and they realize that the climb was not just about reaching the top, but about becoming strong enough to get there. That is how belief and action work together. One gives you the vision, the other gives you the progress. There will be people who doubt you, who laugh at your dreams, who tell you it cannot be done, but your belief is stronger than their doubt. And when you take action, you prove them wrong. Every time you push forward, every time you choose discipline over comfort, every time you move toward your goal instead of waiting for it to come to you, you are rewriting your story. You are showing the world that you will not be defined by limitations, but by the possibilities you create. It is important to remember that action does not always have to be grand. Sometimes the smallest actions carry the greatest weight. Reading one page of a book every day, practicing one skill for 10 minutes, making one phone call, sending one email. These small acts compound over time. Belief fuels the patience to keep going, and consistent action compounds into success. Just as rivers carve valleys through persistence, your actions carve pathways toward your dreams. Doubt will always exist, but doubt does not have to control you. The key is to act even when you feel uncertain. The moment you act, doubt begins to shrink because action creates clarity. You learn, you adapt, you grow. Action gives you feedback that belief alone cannot provide, and that feedback becomes the foundation for stronger belief. The cycle continues. Belief inspires action, action strengthens belief, and together they attract opportunities that bring you closer to your vision. The energy you put into your actions matters. If you act with fear, you attract more fear. If you act with hesitation, you attract uncertainty. But when you act with confidence, with determination, with passion, you attract opportunities that match that energy. Success is not simply about working hard, it is about working with intention. Every step you take with belief is a step that pulls your vision closer to reality. Attraction is about alignment, and alignment comes from balance. When your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions are all moving in the same direction, you create harmony. That harmony resonates with the universe, and the universe responds. Belief tells you what is possible. Action shows the universe you are ready. Together, they create a frequency so strong that success cannot help but be drawn to you. So do not just dream, do not just hope. Believe with all your heart that your vision is possible, and then back that belief with action every single day. When you combine the two, you move from wishing to creating, from waiting to living, from hoping to achieving. That is the power of belief and action. That is how attraction works. Life has a way of reflecting the energy you put into it. The thoughts you carry, the emotions you nurture, the words you speak, and the attitude you choose, they all radiate outwards like signals, drawing back to you people, circumstances, and opportunities that match your frequency. When you radiate doubt, you invite resistance. When you radiate fear, you attract barriers. But when you radiate confidence, positivity, and gratitude, you create a magnetic field that pulls abundance into your life. The law of attraction is not only about visualizing a dream, but about aligning your inner state with the life you want to live. Positivity and gratitude are two of the most powerful forces that set this alignment in motion. Positivity is not about ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It is about choosing to focus on solutions rather than problems, hope rather than despair, strength rather than weakness. Challenges will always exist. No one escapes struggle, pain, or difficulty. But what separates those who grow from those who crumble is the perspective they choose to hold. A positive mind looks at a setback and says, "This is temporary. I can learn from this. Something better is coming." That outlook shifts everything, because the energy you carry in difficult times determines the opportunities that arise out of them. A negative attitude closes doors. A positive one keeps them open. Imagine two people facing the same rejection. One sees it as the end, loses hope and gives up. The other sees it as a redirection, learns from it and tries again. The first person closes off their energy while the second expands theirs. Over time, the one who remains positive attracts new possibilities because their mindset allows them to keep moving, keep learning, keep shining despite the setbacks. The world responds differently to them because their energy is different. Positivity is not naive, it is powerful. It tells the universe, I am ready for something better, and the universe responds by sending better. Gratitude is the twin force of positivity. It is the act of appreciating what you already have while working toward what you want. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance. When you constantly focus on what you don't have, you radiate scarcity, and scarcity attracts more scarcity. But when you acknowledge the blessings you already hold, your health, your family, your opportunities, your lessons, you radiate abundance, and abundance attracts more abundance. Gratitude is a declaration that you already live in wealth, in joy, in growth, and that energy opens the door for more to flow in. Think about how you feel when someone genuinely appreciates you. You want to give more, help more, support more. The universe works in the same way. When you show gratitude for what you have, you are telling life, I see the good, I value it, I welcome more. Gratitude creates a cycle where blessings multiply because your energy is tuned to notice them. Even small things, waking up in the morning, having food on the table, hearing a kind word, when appreciated, expand into bigger things. The more you say thank you, the more reasons you will find to keep saying it. Positivity and gratitude also transform the way you interact with people. When you radiate positivity, others are drawn to you. They feel your energy, your optimism, your hope, and they want to be part of it. When you express gratitude, people feel valued, respected, and uplifted. These qualities create relationships that open doors, build trust, and lead to opportunities you could never create alone. Success is rarely a solo journey. It is built on connections, support, and collaboration. The energy you carry determines the kind of people you attract into your circle. Radiate negativity, and you will draw those who complain, criticize, and discourage. Radiate positivity and gratitude, and you will attract those who inspire, encourage, and elevate. Positivity is contagious. Walk into a room with joy and light, and you lift the entire atmosphere. Walk in with bitterness and gloom, and you bring it down. Every day, you have the power to choose which energy you bring into the spaces you enter. That choice not only affects others, but also determines what comes back to you. If you give light, light finds its way back. If you give darkness, darkness returns. The law of attraction works with precision, like attracts like. The most extraordinary thing about positivity and gratitude is that they shift your inner state immediately. You do not need to wait for circumstances to change before feeling good. You can choose to feel good first, and then circumstances begin to align. For example, instead of saying, I'll be happy when I get the promotion, you can say, I am grateful for the skills I am developing now, and I am positive that more opportunities are on their way. That inner shift changes how you show up, and your energy creates the path for the promotion to come. When you wait for external success to feel positive, you delay abundance. But when you choose positivity and gratitude now, you invite abundance sooner. Some people may think positivity is weakness, that being grateful means settling for less. But the truth is the opposite. Positivity is strength because it takes courage to remain hopeful in the face of adversity. Gratitude is power because it multiplies what you already have instead of leaving you empty. These qualities do not mean you stop striving. They mean you strive from a place of abundance instead of desperation. You pursue your goals not because you lack something, but because you know you are capable of more. That difference in energy changes everything you attract. Even science supports the power of positivity and gratitude. Studies show that people who practice gratitude regularly are happier, healthier, and more successful. Their minds are sharper, their stress levels lower, their relationships stronger. People who maintain a positive outlook are more resilient, more creative, and more likely to achieve their goals. This is not coincidence. It is the natural effect of energy. When your mind is open, solutions come easier. When your heart is grateful, opportunities feel richer. When your spirit is positive, life flows smoother. There will always be reasons to complain. There will always be things you don't yet have, but the choice is yours. Do you focus on what is missing, or do you focus on what is present? Do you see problems, or do you see possibilities? That choice determines the frequency you live on, and the frequency you live on determines what you attract. Positivity and gratitude tune your life to the frequency of abundance, and once you are tuned in, you begin to see abundance everywhere. Abundance is not only about money or material success. It is about opportunities, health, love, peace, and growth. When you radiate positivity, you open doors to opportunities that once seemed hidden. When you express gratitude, you find joy even in small things, which multiplies into bigger blessings. Abundance is not something you chase. It is something you attract by becoming aligned with it. You cannot attract abundance from a state of lack, but you can attract it from a state of gratitude. Picture a garden. If you constantly complain that your garden is small, that the flowers are not enough, that the soil is not rich, you will miss the beauty that is already there. But if you appreciate the flowers you already have, water them, nurture them, celebrate them, your garden will grow. That is how gratitude works. It takes what you already have and multiplies it. Positivity is the sunshine that keeps the garden alive. Together, they create an environment where abundance flourishes naturally. Every morning you wake up, you have a choice. Start the day with complaint or start with gratitude. Start with dread or start with hope. That choice sets the tone not only for your day, but for the life you are building. A single positive thought can shift your mood, change your actions, and redirect your path. A single moment of gratitude can remind you how rich you already are, which fuels the belief that more richness is on its way. These are small practices with massive results. The law of attraction is not a mystery. It is a mirror. Life mirrors back the energy you give it. If you give negativity, you receive struggle. If you give doubt, you receive delay. But if you give positivity and gratitude, you receive abundance. Every moment of your life, you are broadcasting energy, and the universe is listening. Make sure the signals you send are aligned with the life you want to attract. When you radiate joy, you invite joy. When you radiate peace, you invite peace. When you radiate gratitude, you invite blessings beyond measure.